Yo guys, what's up? It's Inflexxius. Today we're playing Jackson to Darius top. So, we're sitting in the bush here to see if maybe we can cheese Darius. If he face checks us, we can get a free E-trade on him, but no such luck, so off to lane we go. So, level 1 versus Darius, what you want to do is dodge his Qs, try to get the level 2 push, and if you can melee range him, you can get a good E-trade off on him. So you see these two minions are dropping low, so we can walk at him and contest him on these minions, and if he gets into our melee range, we can get an E-trade like this. Now, that E pushed the wave really hard, so we need to make sure we are constantly auto-attacking minions right now. Constantly. If anything that is not auto-attacking minions right now is incorrect. Because we need to get this 2-wave crash, otherwise the wave is going to freeze right in front of his tower. And then we can't trade with him. Look, when the lane is in this spot, this is horrible for Jax, right? This is actually kind of lane losing. Now, Darius does Q the wave to let it push back to us, so we should just let the wave push back to us at this point. It'll happen slowly, but it will happen. However, I decide that I want to try to crash the wave here. Again, that's another wrong... That's another wrong decision, because Darius gets level 3 here, and now he can ES into tower, and we'll tank a tower shot, and then he might ghost on us and all in us, right? Just run us down the lane. So this is a pretty, this is a pretty not great spot, but it's fine if it's pushing back to us now. So, I really scuffed the lane state in the early lane here, but it's fine. Thank goodness Darius is auto-attacking the minions unnecessarily. Because if he wasn't, then this would have been a lot harder. So, you guys will notice that I'm running Phase Rush. If you guys want a more standard rune page, you guys can run something like this. You either need Ghost or Ignite to be able to contest get Darius's Ghost, because otherwise he can just do some really nasty Ghost shenanigans versus you. Now, we're just gonna let the wave push back to us. The reason why I'm running Phase Rush is because I'm testing to see if I can run TP if I run Phase Rush, right? To be able to, so that the Phase Rush can kind of match his Ghost in a sense. So, if Darius, at this point in the lane, right? Your objectives are, don't let Darius land Qs, don't let Darius 5-stack you, and play around his E so that he can't do either. So, if he ever tries to Q us, we can just jump on him and take a short trade. If we ever melee range him, we can, take another E trade as well, like that. Now, usually when your E is on cooldown, you don't want to get E'd by Darius. However, here it's fine, because we can just auto-W him and Q out. His Q was on cooldown and our Q was up. So it's fine to get E'd there. Now, Jarvan calls for a gank. Darius' E is on cooldown, our E is up, so we can just kind of solo kill him there. That's the thing. Your E has a 10-second shorter cooldown than Darius' E, right? And you're so much stronger than Darius if your E is up and his isn't. It doesn't necessarily mean you can out all in him and just kill him, right? But you'll at least be able to take a really good trade on him. So now we have a freeze going here. We have our item lead as well. We have a level lead. So now we can try to zone Darius off of minions and even XP a little bit, right? Jarvan is just sitting in the tri-bush there. He sits there for a while. I don't really agree with it. I don't like it. Here, you see I'm walking at him to zone him off of the minions. XP, right? Because my minions are dying in the back there, whereas he is just, whereas he's just kind of sitting outside of the range, right? We have to wait for his minions to settle on our minions. And then we can walk past him. We can walk past his minions to zone him off, right? Now just be careful that when you're zoning him off of experience like this, that the wave does not crash into your tower, right? So Darius lets us jump on him, and we go for it because Jarvan is here. Now we're 3-stacked, so I'm backing off here. I don't want to get 3-stacked by Darius. Or 5-stacked by Darius, sorry. However, Darius then just proceeds to murder the Jarvan, which is really unfortunate. So, I go for a plate here. This is a mistake. I should have just shoved the last wave and then recalled immediately, because now that I've gone for that plate, what Darius can do is shove the waves as well, crash it into the tower, and then he could have taken his own plate as well, right? Which would have denied me minions, and also he would have gotten a plate to match, right? Now, here I go for a trade. And unfortunately, yeah. There's no, yeah, you guys don't need to, there's no words for that. So, I scuffed that, right? I scuffed that. I thought that, I knew Maokai was topside, right? They had just taken Herald, but I thought I could go for a trade on the Darius there anyway, because I was thinking that I'd just walk away with Phase Rush, right? However, I made a mistake in that I went for an extra auto after the stun landed, and if you ever do that versus Darius, go for an extra auto after you stun him, he is always going to be able to E you back, right? When you stun him, you always need to be walking away from him, because otherwise he's going to just E you back and extend the trade, right? So if I did that correctly, he wouldn't have been able to E me back, unless he flashed, and that's the thing, he did have flash. So the fact that he had flash... Hold on, yeah, I mean, Darius kind of owns us here with Ghost. My mistake there was that I was in his E range, I let him get into E range without having my phase rush up. And I just die here. So, yeah, Maokai just murders me here. Like, you guys can just watch as I say, I could just dodge up here actually to live. But yeah, the gist basically of me dying to the Maokai gank earlier is basically, don't contest your enemy top laner at all. If the enemy jungler has Herald, right? Because if you die, then you're going to... If the enemy jungler is topside, and they have Herald, and you die, you're going to lose so many plates. Your tower is going to get brutalized, right? It's not worth the risk. It's never worth the risk. I should never have gone for that trade on the Darius. So, now we have our Divine Sunder. So what we're going to do is we're just going to trade on Darius under his tower, right? Just bonk him and walk away. This is what you can start doing versus your lane opponents if you have a Divine Sunder lead. It depends on what it is, but most lane opponents you can do this. Now, Darius doesn't have E. His E is on cooldown. And remember, Darius is a really weak champion without his E. So we can just kind of murder him. And there it is. Now Thresh chases us off. Their bot lane's coming top lane, so we just want to recall here. You guys will notice that I got Merc Treads as well. I got it for the tenacity for the Thresh and the Maokai and the Zoe. However, looking back on it, what I would rather have done was get an Ionian Boots, and then I get a Wit's End later in the game. But I would rather have gotten a Silvermere Dawn, and then gotten an Ionian Boots. Because the QSS effect is so good into Zoe's sleep. So, we couldn't do anything top lane there, so we go look for a bot play, and we managed to get the Darius. And here, we go for the Zoe. We know she's in the bush here. She flashes away, so unfortunately we can't get the Q. We jump onto the Maokai, start beating on him, but unfortunately they just disengage. So they get a Victor and we get nothing, unfortunately. So, back up to top lane, get our wave here. Never let a wave go unfarmed if you can help it. So back up to top lane. Be on the opposite side of the map of the objective that you want to contest, that being Dragon. Here, a team fight is happening. I don't really want a team fight unless the fight is looking good because we're behind. And Zoe goes down. Victor's coming in for the flank, so the team fight's actually looking good now. Don't Q until Thresh E's, and then just, you know, finish him off here. And there we go. Yeah, the thing about a good Thresh is that they will always flay you as soon as you are in Q range in an attempt to cancel your Q mid-dash, right? And if that happens, you just feel like an idiot, right? So instead what you can do is just walk at them until they flay, and then you Q on them. So, we're getting a flank here, right? We go for the Lucian here. One-shot him, flash on him, one-shot him. And we managed to get the stun here on the Maokai. And take him out as well. And that's a free dragon. So good flank into good dragon. Cool stuff. So, we got a Spear of Shojin. Now, that's obviously another power spike. It's just a solid item. The reason why I got it is just because it's just a solid item and there wasn't anything else that I felt like, a different item that I felt like I desperately needed this game. So I decided to just go for the Spear of Shojin here. It's just really good with the ability haste and the stats it gives. So I'm hovering top lane here because I don't have TP and I don't want them to just steal Baron off of us. Or sneak Baron off of us. Here we're just fighting the Maokai. I don't counter-strike until I'm in range of Lucian's auto attacks because Jax actually goes down very quickly to focused fire without his counter-strike. So I don't want to just save it as a... I don't want to just use the counter-strike as a stun and then get one-shot by their ADC, right? Now, here I just messed up really horribly. I just get hit by a really obvious and very visible Zoe E, and then just get one-shot. That's honestly just my bad, like, I just wasn't paying attention. That's really what it comes down to there. So, we at least get the mid tower, so that's fine. We start working towards our Sterax. So, the reason why I'm getting Sterax is because it'll help for their burst from the Zoe and the Lucian. And also it's more tenacity, right, versus all their CC. It's just a useful item. I should actually have ward hopped into the bush here to try to sneak into the bush without Zoe having vision on me. Now it looks like they're doing Baron, right? So I'm taking the bot tower here. I should TP to those wards next to the Victor, right, in that bush. But I don't see them at the time, so I TP to this ward. This ward is horrible to TP to, right? Because now I'm stuck in the pit. Maokai can press R to zone off our team. And now our backline is, you know, without a front line, right? We're separated from our backline. So we're just kind of getting mulched and we just kind of, yeah, lose the fight really hard. I had two options there, actually. I could have TP'd to those wards. Or I could have just kept split pushing bot lane. Either would have been fine, right? But probably I would have TP'd to those wards. In hindsight. But yeah, so we're on the dragon now. We managed to get their Thresh because he was just stuck in the pit for some reason. And unfortunately Jarvan engages over the wall, so it takes a while for us to get to the fight here. We focus the Darius here to try to peel our Ezreal. Ezreal does a really weird E, Q, misses it, and just kind of... unfortunate. We could have tried to re-engage there, but I don't like it because... going in for the 1v3 is really awkward because if Darius has his E or Maokai has his Q, then they just peel us and then we just kind of die. I don't really have a good buy right now, so I decided to just run around getting Honey Fruit and Red Buff to sustain up resources. Because I don't really want to recall if I don't have something good to buy, right? So, we turn the corner here into a Darius, we can just start beating on him. Darius E's us, we can just Q onto him, just keep beating on him. Darius messes up the Blast Cone and has to flash over. We don't Q after him, we saw Zoe bot lane, and we don't know how many other people are hiding in the Fog of War, right? Like you see, there's Maokai, right? So if we Q over the wall onto Darius, we're just face to face with a Maokai and a Zoe, right? Best we can hope for is a 1-for-1. Which is not that worth because their Darius is not that strong, right? So, keep split pushing bot lane here. Next objective to spawn is Baron, so we want to leverage our TP and split push bot lane. So Maokai's down here, right, contesting us, shoving the wave here. So we'll just keep shoving waves here. If Maokai wants to keep contesting us, then that's fine, right? Because that's their jungler, right? If their smite is bot lane, then that's great for us. So I decide to push the towers here. I was looking for a TP and ready to TP right up until Jarvan got caught. Now that Jarvan's caught, there's no point. So Darius is trying to contest us. We managed to proc his Sterex and force him back. Now we're so much stronger than the Darius. We outscale him and we're just ahead of him, right? We have 2 levels on him, right? So we just, you know, force the inhibitor off of him. There's a fight going on here. I don't want to TP to it at all, right? Because the thing is, this fight doesn't really matter. Like, it's some gold, sure, but whoever dies now is probably going to be up for the dragon, and I don't really have a ward to TP to that's good there, right? So here I get the Wit's End. Or start working towards the Wit's End. My thinking for the Wit's End was they have a lot of tanky champions, and that I'd want the attack speed and the on-hit damage to work through them, but honestly, it would have just been better to, like I said, it would have just been better to go Silvermere Dawn, in my opinion. So jump on the Zoe here. She mispositioned slightly, so it lets me get an engage on her. See, imagine I had a QSS here, right? QSS that, keep chasing after her with the face rush. It would be so beautiful, man. And I get gunned down here. I should have flashed for the last order on the Zoe. But yeah, honestly, I don't think I did anything like... I don't think I did anything super terrible that fight, right? I think I played the fight mostly well. It's just, item purchase diff. If I should have flashed for the last order on the Zoe, and item purchase diff. I should have just gotten the QSS, man. Oh, sad. So we kind of lose the fight, but somehow we managed to get the dragon here. Somehow the Maokai with Smite just doesn't, you know, guard the dragon, and we just get to sneak it off of them. So back down to bot lane. We just took dragon. Next objective to spawn will be Baron. So because the next objective is Baron, we'll just push bot lane. We have TP. We managed to get 2 in the mid lane, and we managed to get a few picks in the mid lane. So that's honestly really great. Good job, team. And we managed to get the mid tower and the inhib. Super good stuff. I go down here, grab the Krugs. Just keep your farm up, get as much farm as possible. Here we walk down, Lucian shows up. So you know what? We don't want to jump on him because he's just going to E away and we don't know how many people are sitting behind him. So whatever. He E's into us. So we can actually just go on him here. Dodge down, dodge the Zoe Qs. Lucian flashes away. We fake that we're going to walk away except we flash onto him and finish him off. We walk down to dodge the Zoe E. We jump on her, she flashes away. And now we can disengage. Hop over the wall. And we're out. Now we can finish our wit's end. And we can go over to drag Baron here. We can actually contest Baron here because the Lucian's dead, right? However, unfortunately, Maokai just kind of walks in and steals it. And then just gets out with the Thresh Lantern. We do get a Darius for it at least. But it's not exactly what we were looking for, right? Maokai just walking in and stealing the Baron was not exactly what we wanted. So, Victor gets hooked here. And we start TPing in here. Unfortunately, Ezreal also got Zoe bubbled, so our backline is just instantly die in that fight. So, what can we do? Nothing. We just have to walk away at that point, right? Like, sometimes that happens, right? You just TP in and then the fight goes horribly, horribly wrong. So, they unfortunately get the Ocean Soul there. So, not really much we could have done about that though. But now that they have the Ocean Soul, they have Maokai, they have Darius, both with Spirit Visages, and they have Ocean Soul. Now it's time for healing reduction. Now, we keep still pushing bot lane here. We actually go even in the fight mid lane, but because 2 people had to come contest me, Darius was overextended, and my team managed to get the pick on the Darius because they knew that nobody else was waiting for them in the jungle, right? So we drew some pressure, we got a pick for it. Really good stuff. And now we just team's just kind of winning a team fight in mid, like without me. So you know what? Hey, we take those. That's super great, right? We pick 3 of them. Jarvan does a very interesting flash play here. And Darius eases us in. We just take the Nexus Tower, and then we just one-shot the Darius. And yeah, that's that. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope to see you in the next one.